Hello and welcome back to another episode of It's a Man's World podcast. Today is episode 3 and I have a very special guest that is here with me today. This is someone that literally brought my vision to life, changed my life massively, and I think this is probably going to be one of my favourite podcasts. I've been listening to him for years and I'm going to let him introduce himself because I don't even think an introduction right now that I could give will be able to sum up everything that he does, how he carries himself, his achievements. So let me introduce Mr. Mark Holt, if you want to let everyone know who you are, what you do and how we met each other.
Ciara, thank you. Very, very grateful for you having me on the podcast. Wow. So I've been in the fitness industry 24 years this year, so a little while. I started out much like a lot of people that you and I know, just with a passion for training, and I found my true self-confidence by being in the gym. And regardless of how many days I worked in real estate for my father before I got into the fitness industry or anything else I was doing, I was the most confident and happy in the gym. And I think most people watching and listening to your podcast will feel the same. We feel good when we're getting better and improving. And so I took the plunge, became a PT, and 14, 15 years into the industry of being a personal trainer, I was able to move my business online while still keeping PT, whilst having a gym. And that was right at the start of moving my business online. And so at that time, I had no idea how to build an online business. I just put results out there and realized that there was something pretty unique about the level of results I was producing in terms of the consistency and the quality of them, and people wanted them. And it was the first touch of, I understood of, okay, this is branding. This is what people want. I can monetize this. And with that, people started to ask me, how do you do what you do? You know, it's clearly working and you're building a good reputation for yourself. And that kind of snowballed into a lot of people asking me, how do you do what you do? From a science, theory, and practical, how do you get people in shape, to you're clearly doing okay with this business-wise. Could you teach me what you do? So today, we teach hundreds of coaches all the way around the world, in many different cities and countries around the world, how to build a successful online coaching business and then scale it. But it's not just about the money. It's not just about the how many numbers of clients. It's building a business that can be here in 10 years' time, but a business that is deeply fulfilling to the owner and has a deep-rooted core value in coaching and 5-star service. And that is our USP in what we do, and helping anybody that comes into our world exceed their own expectations and learn to live life on their own terms. And for me, that is just such an empowering thing. And for us to be in Dubai right now, and you choosing where you are, what you do, empowering people all over the world, I'm very grateful that you came into my life and give me an opportunity to help somebody else. But I believe it just came about by you. And I think you said to me, is there any chance we could do some work together?
I think it was a DM, literally.
I think so.
A DM. I done the first call in Starbucks when there was noise in the background. I hadn't even got headphones. No, I was actually at home, was I, for my first? Oh, no, my first.
I think that maybe the first call wasn't, but I won't forget your first call with me. And it was sitting in the kitchen.
Yeah, in my mom's
house. And it was a pretty emotional call.
Yeah.
As it is for quite a few coaches. And the reason being is because when you sat on the edge of something big and you believe in yourself, but not other people do, it's quite a lonely world.
Yeah.
And I've had that lonely world. I've had the lonely world of bodybuilding and everybody around me not getting it, and then just spending every night in my apartment for year on end, not months on end. I did 5 years where I hardly went out just because I wanted to train.
Yeah.
And so I know what it's like entrepreneurially to just put your head down and do the work. But when people are a lot younger doing it, it either feels like the world's against them, or they feel like they're missing out, or they feel, am I crazy for having these big dreams? Shall I just calm the noise and settle to do what everybody else does?
Sure.
That's not what I believe in. I haven't believed in it with my physique. I haven't believed in it with my life. I haven't believed it with my business, my relationships. And so the thing that fulfills me the most is helping hundreds of people realize these same things. And when we first chatted, that was a very clear conversation we had, wasn't it? About, I see something.
Yeah, and I remember you asked me like what is it that you want to do, and I was like, I want to be known for the results. I want to help as many women as possible, and I want to go. I want this to be big, and that was like I always kind of exactly what you were saying there. I felt that as well. Like growing up, I was just like, oh my God, I feel this where I felt like I was by myself, but I kind of went the other way where I just did sometimes do what everyone else was doing because you do nearly feel like, oh my God, I've got no one. Am I meant to be by myself like that?
Hmm.
But anyone that is listening, this isn't just to do with fitness. This isn't just to do with online coaching. It is to do with people that are coming up with different brands or businesses, like people that follow me with lashes or even hair. Any of my clients that are working in salons, different things like that. So I think this is gonna open up people's minds with a lot of good value. But you talk about values, and that was something that I could never even kind of pinpoint. And I remember you kind of asked me my why, couldn't really put my finger on it. And I do this with my clients sometimes as well, where I'm like why do you want to achieve that, like what is it? And then you asked me about my values, and that was something that I couldn't do either. Like, why are values such a big thing? Like, why do you kind of make sure that everyone knows exactly what their values are and their why? Because I think that's important for people to have a little bit of a think about today listening.
Absolutely. Um, you talked about this conversation being so important to anybody.
Yeah.
It's an entrepreneurial conversation we're going to have.
Yeah.
You know, it's wanting to exceed everyone's expectations, including your own discussion. We just happen to be in the fitness industry.
Mm-hmm.
What we discussed today will be applicable to every field because we're business people.
Yeah.
And business people solve a problem for someone
Mm-hmm.
because they know that it's embedded in them to help with their own personal mission.
Mm-hmm.
So the values are really, really important. Why they're really important is because your values are essentially your roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
Your values are what you are the deepest inspired to do. They're the things that fulfill you the highest. Now, the problem is we often lose sight consciously of what our values are because we watch what other people are doing in life and we often say, well, look how much money they've got. I need money. Or look at how lovely her hair is. I need to change my hair. And we start pulling in what other people value.
Yeah.
And then molding ourselves according to other people's ideals. In a relationship, your partner might say, I don't like you in pink suits, I'd rather you in black. And you go, oh, they like that? Cool, I'm going to start wearing black. Well, that's conforming to other people's values.
Right.
Listening to what other people think we should do and going, that makes sense. When we hear you should do, this is something you should consider, and we alter what we're doing because of what other people expect of us, we are altering our values without actually having a sense check on what ours actually are. So, easiest way to understand your values is without being subjected to what everybody else thinks. What are the things that you are most inspired to do every day? What are the things, like your laptop's in front of you? I don't think that's very far away from you every day.
No.
Your phone, my phone, it's not very far. What is my phone used for? What is my laptop used for? Business.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Probably one of the highest values for me is business. What else am I doing? Coaching. What did we do for the 15 minutes sat out there? We weren't talking about the weather.
No.
It was all business. So the things you talk about the most, the things that you are inspired by the most, the things that occupy your space around you the most, it's so evident what you're inspired by. But what we end up doing is we end up putting the things that we're really inspired by to bed, to the side, and then starting to do things that we think other people want us to do. And that's where we become lost. That's where we lose clarity. And that's where we become foggy because we are not living true to what's clearly inspiring to us. So when you come back in line with your values, what's truly yours, and hold on to what's truly yours, you regain control. And then you have a North Star ahead of you, which means I'm moving in my direction aligned with my values. My wife has her own values and I understand what they are. And I don't try and conform or change her to be me, which means she can be her own person and I can be my own person, but we respect each other's values. Mm-hmm. So whether it's relationships, whether it's business, one of the most powerful things you can do to maintain clarity and certainty with the direction that you're heading in your own life is to become aligned and understand what your own values are.
Amazing. Love that. And that was something that I struggled with for a while. I knew it was in the back of my head, but I still couldn't put my finger on it. So if anyone is listening right now and they're saying, I kind of feel the exact same way, where would you start with that? Would you write it down? Like, what would you kind of recommend? Because it's hard for someone to say, well, we're saying it now. Look, like we're sitting here, we're able to kind of pinpoint that. But where do you start if you're kind of feeling a little bit lost? Maybe you're overwhelmed. Like, how do you know if that's for you? How do you know if that what you're doing right now is for you? If you're just feeling a little bit, maybe lack of clarity.
Well, first and foremost, does what you're doing make your heart sing? Like 6 o'clock this morning, ping, out.
Yeah.
Can't wait to reply to my team,
Yeah.
check what we're doing business-wise, strategize on what I've got to do for the rest of the day. I'm deeply inspired and fulfilled. So if you get out of bed, cannot stand what you're doing, and you don't like the direction that you're going, it's a clear sign that you're quite likely not aligned to your own values. You're doing something that is not fulfilling to you. So a very simple sense check to yourself is this thing that's around you all the time, your laptop and your phone, look at what's in your immediate circle and why it's there. Look at the things that you love to do with your friends or the topics of discussion. We sat down and immediately we were talking about sales, leadership, people, and inspiring lives. We'll put it those 4 things. Ciara, if you're in a conversation with 5 girls and it's about just crap,
Yeah.
right? Okay, dip into those conversations, have a good time, but you don't want to spend all day doing them. So the sense check is, do the conversations I have fulfill me, or do I leave feeling unfulfilled? And so I'm very choosy around the conversations I have, the people I meet, the things that I do, the things I say, the opportunities to be on different podcasts and talk to different people, because it's either going to be a fulfilling conversation or it's not. So to go back to what you said, sense check yourself. Are the conversations and the places and the people that I'm with, are they fulfilling to me? Are they adding? And are they conversations I want to be having? The things are around you that you haven't taken conscious awareness of. What do you spend most of your time doing every single day? You will see these things around you all the time and you're going, wow. So if, for example, business books are around you, but you may be working for somebody, it may be that you're inspired to read about entrepreneurship, but maybe you should be leaning slightly towards entrepreneurship. So the first thing to do is to start look at what is evidently around you that you're not paying conscious attention to, and then ask yourself if what you're doing is fulfilling or unfulfilling. If it's unfulfilling, it's more than likely aligned with somebody else's values that you've subjected to. And if it's fulfilling to you, it's more than likely something that's inspiring to you. So it's asking quality questions.
Yeah.
Is this fulfilling or not fulfilling? And I have a little bit of a fuck yes, fuck no attitude, that if it is, stays in. If it isn't, change. And that generally tends to be quite challenging to people who go, yeah, but what would my family say? Yeah, but everyone's going for a meal.
Yeah.
Not bothered about having a meal. I want to work. Cool. Guys, I'll see you later. I'm working. No. Okay, I'll come with you. Is that meal unfulfilling to you if you want to work? Well, then don't go. You're subjecting yourself to other people's, what their expectations are of you. It's a learning process to stay in control. But the good thing is, when you are able to control why you do things and when you do things, it means that you're aligned with your values. I used to say to my family, you're going for Sunday lunch with the family? Cool. I'll train first, but we want to go at 9. I'll see you at 10. I'll be there, but I'll be there as a happy version of me, as opposed to 9 o'clock and not get to train. And that would create a bit of friction.
Yeah.
But I just stay true to my values.
Yeah.
And that can challenge people.
Yeah.
But what I think is a big thing in our own lives is if we maintain our own values and respect other people's values, we end up with being a lot more fulfilled.
Definitely. And I think the big thing too as well is your environment. Ask yourself if the people that you're around right now and where you are, job, at home, friends, what you're surrounding yourself with, the topics that you're talking about, like if that's not really making you happy and if you're not really that engaged and you start kind of going out with people that you are having inspiring conversations that you want to talk about, you know exactly where you want to put your time. And I think everyone gets a choice. You get to make that choice, which is the most powerful thing ever, that you get the choice every single day of what you want to do, who you want to spend your energy with. And people used to think I was crazy because same thing, I would want to nearly sit there all day and because I've got things to do rather than go to the beach club because like what I'm doing right now is making me more happy than going and sitting there. I'd be sitting thinking like I'm dying to go back and do that now. Whereas now I just make that choice. I'm
If
doing
you're
it
dying
now.
to go back,
Yeah.
when I first moved here, there was a little bit more frequency of going to beach clubs and chilling out. And then I suddenly realized, like, why am I doing that? Because I'm here and it's actually making me more stressed, not doing the things that I want to do. So I had a bit of a malalignment. Oh, something's out of whack. Great. Realign, get back on track to what you do. And I think that is something that everybody can take something away from this episode is you're going to get a lot further in your life when you stay true to your own values than if you are living your life according to other people's or doing things that you're unfulfilled with. It's the whole saying, isn't it? You know, life controls you or you control life.
Yeah.
And the journey that we've chosen is that we control ours. And the good thing about that is when you control yours, you actually will gravitate more towards people aligned with you. But if life's in control of you, then other people will be in control of you. You know, and that's something that I refused to do for a long time. It's a lonelier path. I mean, huge socials all the time with people is possibly a more fulfilling path to people that are lost. Because they find that fulfillment because they've got a void in their life. They fill it with something to stop them having to work out what they need to do. But that short void entrepreneurially, while you work yourself out, is so valuable. But most people are not brave enough to have that kind of lonelyish phase and work out what it is. They don't go in and they spend 10 years out.
Yeah. And I remember when I came here, obviously last year, but when I came back in January, I was by myself for a couple of weeks. It was about 6 weeks. And I remember chatting to people at the gym and they were kind of like, Jesus, like you need to get out a little bit more. Like you should be socializing with people. Should be. And I was like, God, yeah, like I suppose like I'm on that laptop all the time. I just haven't moved. Like I suppose like it's not healthy. And I'm like, no, that's not healthy. That's my choice. I love it. And when I went, I was just like, what am I doing here? Like I went and I was just like, I've definitely outgrown some people, conversations. And I was just like, this is just like not making me happy right now. I was just itchy to get out and get home. And I stopped that straight away and I was like, do you know what, like I'm happy up in my apartment. I'm up in the morning doing my own thing. I've got my routine. There's literally no one around. I'm having a dance in the morning. I'm doing my work. I go to the gym. I come back and people are like, it's a very sad life. I'm like, absolutely not. I love what I do every single day and I'm always inspired to learn more. Like there's always something that I can be doing that every single day. I feel like I want to put as much into that day as I can. Like say for example, maybe a year or two ago coming to an episode for an hour like this, I wouldn't have even done anything for the rest of the day because I'm coming here and I've got this, then maybe I'll go home and chill out. It's like this morning you've got your routine, you know what you're doing, you know when you're training, you know when you're coming here, you've got your time slots out and then you're working towards more inspiring things later on and you go to bed feeling like that was such a good day. What can I do now tomorrow? And
you can't wait to get up
I'd
the
be
next
buzzing.
day.
I'd be so excited to get into bed at night. I'm like, I can't wait now to get up tomorrow, check my laptop again, go through some things, have calls with the girls. Like I absolutely love doing that and I think it makes such a difference when you just love what you do. And that's why people don't jump out of the bed in the morning because they're dreading having to face what they have to go into and work or their day-to-day life. So maybe that's your sign today. But something you touched on with me a lot and obviously with a lot of the clients is personal development. Why is that such a big thing that you touch on personal development rather than you obviously touch on the business side of things, but why do you push the personal side of things first rather than like too much with the business? Because like that was something that I was just like I couldn't get my head around to start. Now I understand it, but why do you kind of touch on that? Because I feel like it catches up down the line with people when they can't nearly, their business is here but they're not there, whereas if you get yourself there first and then you can push your business levels with you at the same time, like why do you do that?
I'm not going to take credit for all of your development because I feel that, you know, people say, you know, I owe it to you. I'm like, nah, I've given them tools, but you owe it to you. Being proud of what you've achieved. I'm extremely proud for you of who you've become. And people who have mentored me in the past have seen something inside of me, but I've done the work. You know, that's really important when we don't give away our growth to other people. We honor it ourselves.
Okay.
you pointed out to me that you wanted to get somewhere. Because I've been there, lost, confused, have a big vision, don't know how to get there. I was like, cool, but if I give you tactics, and this is my simplest way of explaining this, tactics are the lead generation strategies, the sales strategies, the launch strategies to fill a program, whatever it may be. Okay. That's almost putting somebody in the gym and doing the hardest workout ever before they've learned how to train. To me, business and entrepreneurship is about building a entrepreneurial muscle, much like in the gym. And the easiest, I try and explain this in simplest fashion for your audience, is entrepreneurship is a muscle. When I spoke to you, I was like, okay, cool. That's a very deconditioned muscle. It's also a very sensitive muscle. So emotional instability is one of the biggest reasons why people can't operate at pace. But to build a business, you need to operate at pace. You need to spin multiple plates. So when I look at personal development, and I believe that personal development is not a state of, oh, I'm going to address depression. I think that's clinical psychological challenges. I don't see personal development as clinical psychological clinical problems. Mm-hmm. I think that there's very, very, very clear divide between when somebody needs a physician, medication to work through. Personal development is, in my honest view, a state of commitment to continually progress, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Physically, cool, you're in great shape, okay? Physically, emotionally, and professionally. So emotionally, I would assess the person and go, how do you feel about yourself? Doubt, fear, frustration, emotion. This is not clinical disorders. This is something along the way, how you believe in what you believe in yourself, how you've regarded the past, your emotions around the past, and something's become slightly unstable. Not depressive or clinically imbalanced. You've just started to see things in a different way that's given you some degree of low self-confidence or a perspective of low self-confidence. So I have an ability when I work with entrepreneurs to address the things that I think emotionally and psychologically, to a certain degree, are the barriers between you being able to do the tactical things that I want to help you to do. When I do that, let's say, for example, this is what I call your coffee cup. I want somebody, when they're growing a business, to get up in the morning and be inspired, energized, ready to roll, and attack the day. If they wake up and that coffee cup is very low with emotional energy, you've got the whole of the day's worth of energy to attack your business. But if you wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, it's another day. I wish my confidence is going to get better. I just really wish I believed in myself a little bit more. That coffee cup is about 3/4 of the way full, which means you've got a quarter of the day's worth of energy to attack a full day. Well, it's no wonder why lunchtime you're burnt out. Yeah. You're emotional, you're stressed. What's wrong with me? I'm da-da-da. You're not getting anything done. So where I see a lot of people really struggle when they come to working with anybody to help them in business is the person they're working with hasn't got the emotional intelligence of personal development to understand that the person they're giving all the aggressive tactics to can't do them yet. It's like you can't do a triple drop set in the gym on hack squat if you've never really trained legs. Yeah. But personal trainers will give you it to serve their ego. So because I've done 24 years in the industry and I've coached a hell of a lot of people, not just in business, but in personal training and online coaching, I know people's behavior. So I'll spot when I spoke to you, I was like, okay, cool, we got emotional. You got emotional immediately. Oh, yeah. I was like, cool. Okay, forget you're emotional. Let's just crush sales. Yeah. Like, how does that work? Forget the fact you've never been in the gym. Let's crush the gym. That's not professional. Yeah. My job really is to evaluate where are you starting from a emotional stability perspective. Cool. Let's build on that. Now, sometimes somebody will come to me and they have got all of their shit together. And they go, I need to drive revenue. I'm like, you're in a great spot. Let's go. Yeah. When people are building a business, for me, it's about consistency. If there is an inconsistency because of emotion, there's your bottleneck. Yeah. There's your bottleneck of your business. Yeah, but I'm trying to grow. It's like, it's my responsibility to point to you that you're struggling with this, you're struggling with that. Let's just spend a bit of time on this. And you and I have had many calls where we've addressed things. We've had perspective shifts.
Yeah.
I think this is a part of coaching.
Yeah.
It's very different when somebody comes to see me earning a lot of money. The business is in a great place. They've got great leadership. Their personal development's in a great place. But it's all CEO level strategy that we need to change, leadership systems, whatever it needs to be. But when people are on the way up, there's always quite a lot of emotion, especially joining the fitness industry.
Yeah.
I have a goal. I have a passion. Great. Let's go out there in the world. I just don't feel I can share it with the world. Well, cool. There's a personal development thing we need to work on. Self-worth, believing, finding your voice. Your content, Ciara, over the last few years has transformed as you have transformed.
Yeah. Come alongside.
A huge amount. But my responsibility to you when I work with somebody like yourself is I can see it.
Yeah.
And I either do one or two things. I push it to one side and say, stop it, shut up, whatever. Let's push the business hard. When you push somebody hard who's emotionally unstable, at some point they'll break.
Yeah.
When they break, if they've driven the business up to 150 clients and they're making X amount per month, they're ready for a fall. I'm not building businesses up for a fall. I'm building businesses to be here in 10 years' time. That's a big difference with me and a lot of other people.
And that's what I love.
I'm trying to build a business for 10 years' time, right? If I build the business just from a vanity perspective to get money, I would crush many people, much like people doing a 12-week transformation, who at the end of it, the client, the male, the female, is really, really lean. But as soon as the client's finished the transformation, what does the coach do? See you later. They haven't helped the person understand how to maintain their results or slowly come back out of that so that they're in a really, really good psychological place to maintain the results long term. That's professional coaching. Unprofessional coaching is where you batter somebody into the ground, leave them at the end, they get fat and they don't know what to do. That's not what I do. It's not what I've done through my whole coaching career.
Yeah.
I've looked after people. So when I moved into the business space, I watched the business space and I go, cool, people go up. Then I see them come down and I go, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So when I started working with you, and I do with everybody else, and my team helped me with this, is we are very skilled in noticing it's not a personal development program that we run, but it's an awareness of someone's emotional level of stability will be a dictator of how hard we can push the business. And when we work on the emotional stability, we're then watching to see the emotional muscle start to develop. And then you become a conditioned entrepreneur. You become a conditioned person that can handle the work stress.
Yeah.
Somebody going through a tough patch with their relationship, we can't push the business if you can't manage both. That will come across when you're working with females.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do your photo shoot. Me and my husband are going through the divorce. We've got 3 kids, but all of them are under 3 years of age. Holy moly.
Absolutely not.
So what I go back to is integrity. My moral compass won't allow me to push somebody if there isn't the emotional stability there. And that's what, in a long way around, personal development is for me. Yeah. It's exceeding your expectations, and it's finding ways to improve constantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Sheikh Mohammed, he said that excellence has no finish line. And for me, I wrote my book and, I called it Level Up. It wasn't excellent. It was about how to improve, which is excellence, ENCE. And that's what I'm excited by. It's leveling up in multiple areas of life, not just isolating the one area and then having a big fall.
Love that. That was definitely going to help a lot of people. And I 100% wasn't emotional stable to be pushed in certain points. And I know that as well now. And I think the obviously muscle that I've grown in terms of the business, I'm in a position where you can do that now, where you're like, right, let's go. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just get it done. And there's mind over matter now.
It's exciting. It's exciting to watch you now.
Good.
And in a world where we live in now, where, especially in our industry, there is constant conversations with coaches that are either doing more financially, have more clients, getting more results. But everybody's at a different stage.
Yeah.
One thing I really respect with you is the fact that you know that I know you. And as soon as we turn the gas on, we always go up.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll regulate when we turn the gas on at the right pace.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just shot up 6 to 12 months ago, have we got the emotional stability there to be able to handle it? I know where you're going to be in 3 to 5 years time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be insane. It
Yeah.
already is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And the excitement to watch that journey means that as you're growing, all the leadership skills, all the entrepreneurship skills, all the sales systems, all the team, all the infrastructure with the clients and the events that you're going to run, it'll be a worldwide brand.
Yeah.
Right? If you speak to, I spoke to, general managers and director board level of a very well-known restaurant chain
Mm-hmm.
in the summer. And I was like, why are you not knocking out more of these quickly? And he went, you don't build a brand quickly.
Yeah.
You don't build a brand quickly.
No.
Because it's built on reputation.
Yeah.
And
Community.
if you're trying to build a brand, I help coaching brands.
Yeah.
Well, coaching brands, it's all about your voice, your mission, your vision, or you're helping somebody make money.
Yeah.
It's one of two things.
Yeah.
If I build a coaching brand, the ultimate goal of everybody that I work with is to make money.
Yeah.
As much money as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a coaching brand, the people that are actually going to tell you whether that brand has got a place in the marketplace is the customers,
Mm-hmm.
is the audience on social media, and you can aggressively grow something and you can aggressively make a load of money, but they won't be known as Ciara Rossi worldwide.
Yeah.
They won't be.
Yeah.
It will either be something to sell, great game plan,
Mm-hmm.
or it's something that is churning cash through, but they're very happy with not being frontman. Like Walt Disney. Walt Disney was not really the frontman driving the business, it was his brother. There's other companies where it's a partnership, but there's one of them that's at the front.
Mm-hmm.
So some people either prefer to be the visionary and wanting, because you want your reputation.
Yeah.
You want people to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I want a reputation. Some people, that's not their driver.
Yeah.
So it's also important to watch what other people want in life. Because if they're quite happy not to be the brand, the coach, and build their own reputation, then their business will take a slightly different course.
Yeah.
But if you're building a brand, which is built around your personal brand, that can't be rushed.
No, definitely not. And I think you lose a whole aspect of the personal touch with people and even the community too. That's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Like knowing who the girls are, knowing my team. Whereas if I was to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, getting brand deals with more say even clothing brands and stuff like that.
Which is easy for you to do, right?
I could do that if I wanted, and I could keep pushing up numbers with social media and do different types of things, but that's not what makes me happy. Helping people is what makes me happy. Working with my team, training them, looking at clients, seeing transformations, that's what makes me genuinely happy. And I think that's kind of a big thing for people listening. Know the difference. Really kind of have a think about it. If you don't want to build a brand, that's okay as well. I don't think there's a big deal with any coaches that are listening. If you want to do an app and you want to have a one-off subscription, and maybe you don't want to have touch points like that and sell a program, do it. If you're going to make money and you're happy doing it and that's what you like.
It's a business you're building. That's why a lot of people come to us because they want a coaching brand.
Yeah.
Coaching brand, build a business, become a leader, train people, develop people, inspire people. And then on the flip side, there may be people that are more in an influencer brand.
Mm-hmm.
And an influencer brand is about attention, driving numbers in, not necessarily building an emotional connection with their target audience, but inspiring people enough with their content to drive them into slightly lower ticket. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said, you just got to know what you're trying to build and what you want to build.
Yeah.
One of my greatest voids in my life when I was growing up was significance.
Mm-hmm.
One of the 6 core pillars that Tony Robbins talks about. And significance was being known.
Yeah.
And one of mine was, growing up, was I didn't feel noticed and recognized. And then I started bodybuilding and started realizing that when I put some muscle on and started training well, then before I started competing, I started to do well in rugby and be stronger on the field, and people would notice. And, other people would notice my shape, my physique, and I'm like, okay, cool. So this thing I've been missing is significance. Well, that greatest void turned into now my drive for as many people as possible to know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not through ego or anything like that. It's the more people that can find out about me, the more I can share my story, the more it can inspire other people. If it inspires other people, they become our client and I get to change another life. So I'm so pleased I had lack of significance when I was younger because it drove me to be significant, which means I became a personal brand.
Amazing. And that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Never felt kind of the smart person in school. Didn't have big college courses that I was going for. Wasn't able to study much because I had the part-time job, the dancing. It was the exact same that I nearly, when you asked me what was my why, like I didn't want to even say that to you because I was like, that's a little bit like, why would you want people to know who you are? Like that's a bit like, as you said, ego, but like it's not.
No, it's
It's
not.
what's missing.
The void is the thing you crave the most. Okay. And in my life, that void was actually brought out of a lot of, and it's very simple for me to say, social circles. Let's say there was 5 lads. I never felt that number 1 or number 2 amongst the lads. Never when I was younger, like when I was at school. Even my younger years of rugby, I'd be standing in a group and I knew I wasn't the guys that would necessarily the girls would come up to and chat to. If there was a group of lads, there was always somebody a bit louder than me. And I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I'd rather be in an environment, not, hey, look at me, but have more to bring to the table, have more that people go, I want to know him.
Yeah.
I want to be in a room with him. I want to learn from him.
Yeah.
And I went on an intentional journey to become that guy. As soon as I started being personal trainer at LA Fitness in Newark, in Nottingham, in England, I was like, how do I become the best in this gym? And I wrote down a list. I'm charging more. I'm doing more sessions and I'm in the gym more. And before long, I'd already done that. How do I put my price up? Go and do a course that no one else has done. Cool. I'll go away and do the course. That's driven me. Just doing a little bit more than other people. And it wasn't to prove a point to anybody else. It was to prove a point to me that if you set your intention on, okay, I want everyone to know who I am, go and do it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me, just go and do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing is that, oh my God, I need everyone to know what I'm doing. People might think, oh, look at your social media. I'm sure a lot of my old friends from my hometown were like, oh my God, look at him. Look at who he thinks he is. I'm like, dude, this is nothing to do with like me serving an ego. So it just ticks a box for me. No. It's me knowing that the contribution I put on planet Earth is then being rewarded by helping other people to do the same thing. And it's so funny because no matter what money comes in the bank account, to stand on stage in Dubai Live last year with 150 people, and they've all flown around the world, 70% of people have flown to be at the event.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the most proudest moments, business-wise for me, and going, and it wasn't a monetary goal. It wasn't what's in the bank. That's there. That allows you to do the things you want to do. But the fulfilling thing is I truly think that the people that turn their noses up at wanting to be significant, wanting to be known, and wanting to help other people are the people that have no idea what a mission is. And I truly do believe, Ciara, that everybody has an inspiring mission. And that is one of the number one things that creates more unfulfillment, is not having an inspiring mission. Because we're all teachers, we're all leaders, but we don't see the value in our life. So we just put it to one side and then just opt for an easy way out. Cool, I'm okay with that. But I believe in everybody that I speak to, I just don't know where I'm going in life. Let me help you find what that is. Yeah. Because when I help somebody find what it is,
so good.
It awakens a giant inside of them. Yeah. And they go, oh, is that who I am? I'm like, yes, and we've helped you find it.
Yeah.
And when I saw you unleash on social media and then it all started to blow up, there was no business tactics in that. It was all personal growth and entrepreneurial mastery, which helping somebody to exceed their expectations and become who they are, then let's fly with the financial side. Let's fly with the business side, building the team, building the systems, and that works. Some people, it can be a month's worth of work. Sometimes it can be 3 months of work.
Yeah, amazing. You know? Love that. What, since the first call, obviously over 12 months ago that you had with me and the person that I was when I got on, what am I like now in comparison to that person? Because I know a lot of the girls that are listening, or even males that are listening, like, you know where I've started, as in over about 16 months ago. What have you seen massively change in terms of myself, obviously business wise, but more kind of personally, that maybe someone else is like, I felt like that at the start, and wow, I can definitely do it if you've got there too?
I know where you are now. The person I met was quite timid, apologetic. I think you were quite apologetic for wanting something.
Yeah.
and almost had allowed yourself to be conditioned to people that didn't believe, and you were on the edge of not believing.
Mm-hmm.
You were just on the edge because there was a lot of emotion on that proper first call. Where you are now, strong. That's a proud transformation.
Yeah.
If that's all it is, because you'll turn strength into everything. But I'd say that you are strong. I'd say you're extremely kind to everybody that's in your world.
Mm-hmm.
You think a lot about other people.
Yeah.
And you want to elevate people.
Mm-hmm.
And you care immensely, but your strength has given you a voice of differentiation in the world, which is your point of uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have found your uniqueness, which will only grow stronger. And you're delivering that uniqueness with an incredible level of integrity. And that as a transformative process, I'll take over any financial win that you've had. Because if that's the transformative process in an individual through business coaching, yes, we can talk about how much your email list has grown and how many new clients are in the program and how many team members you've got. But without that transformation, you would have just been a volatile business.
Yeah.
And if it's taken 16 months of your life to do that, plus we've grown incredibly financially at the same time.
Yeah.
For any person that works for you, we talked about the fact that you're elevating so many people inside your coaching program to work for the brand now is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I really believe that a great coaching business, the way that they hire is elevating people from within.
Big time.
But if the coaching brand is built upon a very unstable founder, you're not going to have anybody that wants to work for you. Mm-hmm. So a great sign of a good business, especially coaching, what we do is elevating from within.
Yeah.
And if they want to work and come up the ladders, that's a real good sign, for a strong leader that you've become. Mm-hmm. And that is the biggest transformation for you, I think. It's who you've become.
Yeah, definitely. I think even having a team, leading a team, I came to you and it was just myself.
Yeah.
It was no one else. Now there's 6 of us.
And also I think one of the things I noticed when it was you, and there's a great book called 6 to 7 Figures. I forget his name, Nestle. And he was talking about when you do move from a business going through 6 figures to 7 figures. And it's whether you're in 6 figures and you're eventually trying to work towards 7 figures, there has to be a wobble phase. There has to be a phase where you're friggin' spinning every plate before you start to hire and bring people in and all that sort of stuff. And I think a lot of people are frightened of allowing people to get to that wobble stage where they're just managing everything. Mm-hmm. But I allowed myself to push you to the point where you were stretched.
Yeah.
Because I think you needed to feel what it was like to not have people helping you and then see the value in delegating. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important for a lot of people, because if you delegate too soon, you don't really see the value in what that person's helped you come back out of. And that's been a massive thing, is realizing when we were stretched and then hiring and then elevating people within inside the coach program. A lot of issues that coaches make is outsourcing people to do roles within their company that are coaching related, or even doing sales calls when it's for coaching related programs. The hardest thing anybody working for you would have to learn is how you run your business and coach. Mm-hmm. So it would make sense not to
look within,
pull outside and elevate from within.
Yeah, definitely. It's always right in front of you, those people. And I've had girls now even going forward being like, Ciara, if you're hiring again, like, we'd love to join. And these are women that are like so inspired to be in the program. They love the community. They all get along. And I think if any coaches are looking for people, probably best to look inside your program. Someone who has, like you said, walked it and has done it. They know what you do. They know what way you speak. They know your values, and they know what the community is all about, rather than kind of outsourcing to someone that doesn't even know what's going on.
Well, one of the biggest things you've got to understand is there is no point, and this is what I see a lot of, there is no point filling your online coaching diary to the point where you're stretched, let's say 80, 90 clients.
Yeah.
You're run ragged, your systems are poor, you're emotionally unstable, you've got lots of clients, and then you think, oh, I need to delegate. When you delegate anything, you then become the CEO. Mm-hmm. If you're a CEO and you've not got your shit together, then there is no point delegating. So the point to me about building a business before you hire people is every day that you're on planet Earth, you're developing skills to be a better leader. That means making your bed, going to the gym, cooking your food, being disciplined with your timekeeping. Like, this shit gets me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm running this business, but you've not got your whole life together.
Yeah.
You're not learning, you're not being disciplined, you're not training, you look rubbish.
Yeah.
Your personal development's not together. Oh, I want to scale my business and get to 80, 90 clients. Right. In about a month's time, I'm going to tell you need a coach.
Yeah.
You haven't even got your shit together enough to manage one person.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you're earning all this money. Like, that's where I go back to happily calling somebody out. You look like crap.
Yeah.
I can tell you're not sleeping.
That's a big thing.
It is. It is. Like, you've also grown in stature, in presentation, in style.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing I've noticed with you as well. Become a lot more stylish and really prided yourself on your presentation. Because I think that from a CEO's perspective, I'm 46, right? And I pride myself in training 5 days a week. It's not just 5 days a week. I pride myself on my routine of my hard training. I pride myself on my cardio. I pride myself on my ice baths. I pride myself on my subs. I pride myself on the quality of my food.
Yeah.
I pride myself on how much I sleep, how much I value the communication and conversations I have with my wife and the planning and time that we put together. I pride all that because I believe I'm a high performance human being, personally and professionally. And someone said to me the other day, Mark, what are you training for right now? I said, to be a high performer and an inspiration to my son and my wife. Like, so, oh, but are you trying to get your arms bigger? Are you trying to get your back bigger? I'm like, no. I'm trying to look good, feel good, sleep well, love well, build a great business, and have the energy to lead from the front. You know, I have more energy than most in my team.
Yeah.
I know I train friggin' hard. I'm not going to say I train harder than everybody, but I always want to be doing things better, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
You know, because I think if you're going to lead from the front, you know, if you look at Braveheart, you know, he was somebody they always looked up to. And I think for me, whether it's my son, my wife, I take that responsibility as leader. And I know you do massively.
Yeah.
So I think going back to what I was saying, a lot of coaches don't think about the multiple areas of growth, my spiritual growth, my entrepreneurial growth, my relationship growth, my financial wealth growth, my physique, my health, you know, my actual vocational growth as an entrepreneur. I'm looking at all of them and going, where am I growing? Where am I slipping? Where am I growing? Almost like there's some kind of like, there's a chart that's going up and down telling me where I'm good and where I'm bad. Like, I'm watching it all the time and trying to manage them all. And somebody says, Mark, I want to scale my business. And I go, have you got the emotional stability and intelligence for me to tell you it's multiple things we need to get right first before we even try and scale your revenue?
Yeah.
I think that's a big problem in our industry at the moment, is that the number one thing coaches are asking for is, I want to make more money, which I would be like, do you mind if I help you become the person first that's going to be ready to make the money?
Yeah.
Or do you mind if we make the money, but you also work on who you become along the way? Because that's what you've worked towards. And that's a blueprint in itself. It's not like I give you an ebook and say, by the way, this is who you have to be.
Yeah.
But if you put 20 entrepreneurs in a room that are all making great money, they kind of all look the same in terms of not physically, but they will always say that they focus on their health, they focus on their sleep, they focus on their relationship, they focus on their time, they focus on their money, they focus on like, it's multiple areas. So the fact that coaches nowadays say, how quickly can I get to this figure? The smartest thing that people can say is, who do I need to become so that I can get to this figure? And then that figure will happen.
Yeah. You need to look at yourself.
That figure will happen. Like, you know, overweight people. Who do I need to become? What do I need to change, upgrade, or remove to lose weight and feel great?
Yeah.
Well, that's simple.
Yeah.
Stop frigging around with him, her, it. Eat this. I'm not even talking about food. Take that toxic relationship out of that. Spend less time with that person. Now we're calm.
Yeah.
Good. Eating's easy now.
Yeah.
Eating's easy. Because the emotional shit that you're doing with food has nothing to do with the diet I'm putting you on. You're having it because you hate your relationship.
Yeah.
You're having it because you don't like yourself.
Yeah.
But most people that love themselves will go for a healthy meal over shit.
Yeah.
Marsh and I will just like get a delivery in the evenings, like for food every day, a couple of times a day. And no matter what I can click on that website,
So much.
Whenever I click on the website, I have veg,
Yeah.
chicken or salmon, and just good quality food.
Yeah.
I can click any amount of crap,
Yeah.
but I don't. I choose not to because of how it makes me feel. So this comes full circle to this entrepreneurial conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's a personal commitment to better yourself, personally, physically, and professionally.
Yeah. High performers.
It goes back to it.
Just
It's
high performers. Like,
look, if you could sum up this whole podcast,
high
it's just high
performers, call
performance.
it. Yeah.
And people are like, I just want to build a business. You just want to be a high performer.
Yeah.
Because the outsiders in life are actually high performers.
Yeah.
The people that are, oh God, why are you so disciplined with your life? Why are you focused on money? Why are you focused on having bigger and better? Why are you focused on this?
Yeah.
Because I choose high performance over anything else.
Yeah.
And high performance is never ending. And that's the most exciting part about it, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that. I actually had a question there for you. So, like, why are you always striving for more? Why are you always kind of pushing for this growth? Is it because you want to be this high performer, or like, what is it? Because it seems like, obviously, from the outside and knowing you as well, like, you have everything that probably you've ever wanted. But why is it that you continuously want to strive for more and want to grow? Like, what is it?
I questioned myself recently because we live in a beautiful villa. I have a beautiful son, beautiful wife, amazing life, investments, business. And I've delved into this recently, you know, because I've looked at when's enough, when's it too much. And it's just lovely conversations to delve into, because that's what personal development is to me. If there's questions in my head, I'll just explore them.
Yeah.
I think as human beings, the time when I'm the least fulfilled is the time when I'm growing the least. Now, when I'm striving for more, it's for me very much about continuation of progress, and I feel extremely empowered when I learn more.
Yeah.
I feel unstoppable. I feel I'm proud of myself. I was very behind at 19 when I left school. I left school and felt very, very, I felt like I didn't attend and give my full attention to school just because I didn't see the value in it. I didn't see the value in it, so I didn't attend it. I played rugby and did really well in it, but didn't do well in exams. And when I got to the fitness industry and started studying books, I felt very behind.
Yeah.
So there's two parts of me. There's one, I genuinely feel behind.
Is that regret, or is that just...
No. And it's not, I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I feel a bit behind, i.e. I got so much to learn.
Okay, yeah.
And so because I spent so much of my years not enjoying school and learning and not learning, now I'm obsessed. I get out of bed and I put my earphones on and I walk downstairs, and while I'm making my breakfast, after I've looked at a couple of business bits, I listen. I listen to people. I listen to podcasts. I listen to books. Every day I just want to learn and I want to become more empowered, and it gives me an immense energy. So I am very careful to not say that my growth is just revenue focused.
Yeah.
Because I have everything that we want and can do everything that we want, but I have an immense desire to continue to learn because I think I haven't learned enough yet. And I know that will never stop, because I know all of our key drivers in life is to learn more. And we become, I think when you actually ask people and they go, look, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm like, if you really had an honest conversation, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not happy with you've got no direction in your life. You're not earning, like, what would you buy right now if you could? If you could, money aside, not having enough, what would you buy? Oh, I would do this. Great. You're not fulfilled.
Yeah.
You've conditioned yourself to say, but it's okay, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But come on, let's be honest.
Want to.
If you want it, and I point it out to you enough and say, but if you did this and you had it, not necessarily monetary to, like for me, whether it's buying family insurance for my wife, pay for it. That's a fulfillment thing for me.
Yeah.
Like whether or not it's taking my family on holiday, it's not a monetary thing of how much money is in the bank. It's the ability to do things when I want, and have what I want. And the choice to have that around me is, okay, we could have a little bit more. We could do a little bit more. So there's a big driver in me to never have to ever say, no, I can't. That was a big driver for me when I was growing up. It was, I don't want to ever say, I want to travel that way. Can't.
Yeah.
I want to stay in that type of a hotel. Can't.
Yeah.
So it's filling a void that I had when I was younger of not being smart enough or that insignificance. And the more I learn, the more significant and more powerful I feel in myself. It's the ability to have what you want when you want and not have to ask any questions of yourself and have full confidence that it's there. And the final thing for me is the constant pursuit of knowing that I'm helping 10x, 10x, and 10x more versions of me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm helping hundreds now and I can help thousands, I'm not so legacy driven.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so bothered about how many people are talking about me 10, 20, 30 years down the line. It's not a big driver for me.
Yeah.
It's what impact I can make on those coaches while I'm here.
Right now.
And then the final thing for me, if I put forth in, which since having my son has really lit a fire in me beyond anything I ever thought was possible, is being an incredible inspiration for him. I'd love him to learn his own way in life, but realize that true fulfillment in life is when you have a vision and a purpose and a spiritual mission, when you're learning and you're growing, that you are financially growing, that you have great relationships with great people, you've got your physical health, and you have a clear career path and that you're fulfilling in your own life. That's something that I learned from Dr. John DeMartini, the 7 areas of life that he taught me. And when I realized that my whole life has been a pursuit of trying to fulfill multiple areas, I'd love to be able to turn around to my son and say, see, you can have everything.
Yeah.
I thought that I couldn't have a beautiful wife, beautiful business, have everything that I want, and I'd have to settle for second best.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went, no.
Not doing it.
I don't settle for anything.
No.
And it took me to 38 to find my wife because I didn't settle for second best. And that whole, part of what I've explained to you is a longer version of it because you've really opened me up to really think deeply about my answer to you today. And I want to give the best answer possible. And that really has probably inspired me again because your question to me has given me just that absolute clarity again. When somebody asks you a question and it gets you to think deeply about your answer, lack of significance, knowing that life's about fulfilling multiple areas. And if I'm okay with life never being done, I've got my lot. If I'm okay with there's never enough, but it's just continual growth, but in multiple areas. Because if I think a lot of people shoot for money, and then fall off the cliff. I'm shooting for money, business, relationships, friendships, vision, spirituality, calmness, personal growth. And that's just the most wonderful thing to be working on every day. So high performance is about getting better in all those areas. And the reason I have that drive for it is because, like you said, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Why not?
Why, if you could better every area, and then in doing so, you met better people, got better opportunities, could buy what you want, when you want, have what you want, and live wherever you want, and then inspire your own family to do the same. Why wouldn't you? And so
are just scared.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will say to you, why do you keep pushing? I'm like, okay, maybe you're looking at me pushing and going, it's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're now doing is getting me to understand where your weaknesses lie. People will challenge you based on what they doubt the most in themselves. If they didn't, I'd champion you to keep working harder.
Oh yeah.
I champion you. You
No
on a Sunday,
line.
you might be at a beach club, but you're coming back to me on voice notes.
Yeah.
Cool. So am I.
Yeah.
I get up at 6:15 and I'll work for 3 hours on a Sunday morning. Marsha and I will go out for the day. She doesn't mind if I go and sit down and do some messages or whatever, because I'm fulfilled. Mm-hmm. And then I'll come back, or then I'll spend the whole day with them if it's pulled in the calendar that we're going to do from 11 till 6. But she won't mind on a Sunday if I come back and do 2 calls, 6 till 7, 7 till 8.
Exactly.
Because all of this just intertwines in our life. We have a 7-day-a-week life.
Yeah.
Not a 5-day on me and 2 with my family. No. We have a 7-day-a-week.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning, I see my son, Marsha and I and Mason go to the gym all together. And then I come back and I'll work, and then we sit down, we have food. And that's 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Not, I only see my family at the weekend. So I've been able to integrate my family, my business, my life, my health, my happiness. And if you can integrate to that 7 days a week, then there's 7 days of bliss rather than 5 days of hell and 2 days of bliss.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah. I have
7 days of amazing life,
Yeah.
as opposed to 5 shit and 2 getting smashed. You know, and I think you agree with that. It's just,
Yeah.
7 days a week of bliss
7
is
days a
just
week.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love Sunday. I love Monday. I love Tuesday. I
every
love
day.
Wednesday. I just love every single day.
Yeah.
You know, Saturday, we don't go, oh my God, it's a down day. It's
Yeah.
like, no, what are we doing today? Cool.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy going to a beach club or walking along the beach or going to a mall.
Yeah.
Sometimes I value disconnecting from work, not because I hate work,
Yeah.
because I become creative,
Yeah.
or because I disconnect from work to be present with my family. So when there's a choice,
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing, oh, I need Saturday to myself because I don't enjoy my job.
Yeah.
No, I spend Saturday going, connecting with my son adds value to my business in this way.
Yeah.
Disconnecting from work add value to my business in this way. Cool. And then everything gets placed in a different, its own slot.
Yeah.
So that's really, really powerful for me to just have that 7 days worth of extreme bliss. And I know you feel the same.
Yeah, definitely. That was an amazing summary, obviously, to the very end. I'm like, I could keep asking you questions. I'm always mesmerized at how much you want to grow, how much you learn, how much value you give to everyone, and how much you fit into a day as well. And I'm literally always relating to you. And honestly, I think I had a last question there, but I just think that there summarized everything and brought it all together. And it was nice to get to know you a little bit more as well, and people as well. I'm glad that we didn't kind of touch on the more businessy side of things, because I think this was a lot more valuable to people.
Well, don't we think that like business is, if this was a business episode on sales or everything specifically, but everybody would love to become. A lot of people want that become the either self-employed or develop the entrepreneurial skills, and there are bottlenecks in people's lives. For me, what really is the key is, can you live a high performance life? Can you live a high performance life that pays you very well? I truly do believe that the gift that I've instilled in myself to help other people around the world, I deserve to get paid very well for it. I deserve to get paid very well for it. And that can be intimidating for other people, where they're like, you deserve to get paid? Yeah, hell right I do.
Yeah.
I can change people's lives.
Yeah.
I do it every single day. I have messages every single day. So when people around the world are getting paid millions and millions of dollars for the work that they do to change other people's lives in different ways, it's exactly the same in what we do.
Yeah.
You develop a skill, you help thousands and thousands of people with that skill. And part of the fair exchange of doing that is that they get well, they build a business, they have an enriched life. I have the same. So I've never had a problem with charging more and more and more for what I do, because I see how much value I bring to the world. And that in itself is why I don't think we needed to just touch on business tactics.
Yeah.
Is because ultimately we're searching for this all-encompassing high-performance life. And the stuff that eventually makes the money is the tactical bits.
Yeah.
And that's another day.
Yeah, that's a different one, but that was amazing. Oh my God, I love that. Actually, 2 of my favorite episodes from your podcast is knowing your value and your worth. That one for anyone to listen to. I love that. And wearing a suit.
Oh, wow.
Wearing a suit, the one that you done about your dad.
Wow, yeah.
So anyone
Wow.
that is listening right now, go and check those 2 out, and you'll know why I kind of show up every day the way I do. I love that because I'm a firm believer of that too. So go and listen to that. But I call you the GOAT, so the greatest of all time. I call him the GOAT. But honestly, I really hope that this has inspired people. I hope that you are taking notes. I always write, or when I'm listening to something, put it into my phone. So please go back, ask questions, leave them below in the comments. But can't thank you enough. I always say it. Thank you so much. I was even emotional bringing the intro into it, because I'm like, oh my God, when you put into perspective how much changes so fast, but time goes so fast too, that I can't even put into words how grateful I am for everything that you've done, and how much you've helped me. And I don't think that I'd be living in Dubai. I don't think I'd have the business and the team that I have now without you. Honestly, I know you say you gave me the skills and stuff, but thank you so much for coming on as well. It's a privilege for episode 4 so early in the podcast to have such an amazing guest on. So thank you so much. And if anyone has questions, you can pop them below, and we will see you on the next episode. But thank you so much again.
Ciara, I just want to say from me to you, I'm very proud and grateful of the opportunity that you've given me to mentor and be in your corner. And I say that on behalf of myself and my team that help you as well, because it's just been an absolute joy. You're inspiring so many women around the world, and will go on to be a global sensation with what you do. If anybody does want to follow a little bit more about what I do, just follow me on Mark Coles M10 on Instagram. You'll see everything there. But I just wanted to say thank you for having me on. That was an episode that pulled plenty out of me as well. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.